Have you ever been there? You're in the checkout line. You've got the milk, the eggs, and you're just 3 minutes away from the exit. And then it happens. The scream. The arching back. The absolute explosion of emotion because you said no to the candy bar. Or maybe because you said nothing at all. And suddenly you feel the eyes. The stranger behind you checking their watch. The cashier waiting. And that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest that asks, am I a bad parent? Is my child out of control? Here's the truth that science wants you to know right now. You are not failing. And your child isn't necessarily misbehaving. There is a biological difference between a behavior and a brain on fire. Today, we are going to teach you how to tell the difference between a tantrum and a meltdown in less than 5 seconds, so you can stop panicking and start parenting with confidence. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Three Koi Fishes channel. We are a team of parents with over 80 years of combined experience navigating the real challenges of raising kids. We personally research and vet material, sharing the most relevant insights based on our practical knowledge as parents. If you're new here, we are all about empowering you to make knowledgeable decisions without the guilt. Let's dive into the neurology of the grocery store floor. Part 1. The neurology of what is a tantrum? Let's start with a tantrum. We often use this word for everything, but biologically, a tantrum is very specific. A tantrum is a strategy. That's right, a strategy. When your child is having a tantrum, their prefrontal cortex, the thinking, reasoning part of the brain, is still online. It might be flickering, but it is on. They want something. A cookie, a toy, to not wear shoes. They have a goal. According to research published in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis, tantrums are maintained by positive reinforcement. That means, if the screaming gets them the cookie, the brain learns, screaming works. Here is a fascinating stat for you. A study by Lauren S. Wachschlag et al., published in the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry, found that 84% of preschoolers have tantrums at least occasionally. It is a normal, healthy part of development. It means your child is testing boundaries. They're asking, how much power do I have in this world? In the grocery store scenario, a tantrum looks like this. They scream for the candy. You say no. They scream louder. But if you were to suddenly say, oh look, a dinosaur, a child having a tantrum might actually stop and look. Why? Because their brain is still capable of processing new information. They are in control. They're driving the bus, even if they're driving it recklessly. Part 2. The brain on fire. What is a meltdown? Now, let's look at the meltdown. This is where we need to offer you and your child a lot of grace. A meltdown is not a strategy. It is not a choice. It is a system failure. Let me repeat, this is a system failure. In a meltdown, the prefrontal cortex, that thinking part we talked about, has gone completely offline. It has left the building. The brain has shifted entirely into the amygdala. This is the fight, flight, or freeze center. Think of it like a computer crashing. You can press the keys, you can click the mouse, but the screen is frozen. No amount of negotiating will reboot it instantly. For children, especially those who might be neurodivergent or on the autism spectrum, the grocery store is an assault on the senses. The lights are humming at a frequency you might ignore, but they hear it like a siren. The smells from the deli, the temperature change in the frozen aisle, it piles up. And eventually, the cup overflows. A meltdown is the brain screaming, I am not safe. Too much input. Shut it down. Have you offered a candy to a child during meltdown? They likely won't even see it. They might knock it out of your hand. Not because they're mean, but because their brain cannot process candy right now. It is only processing escape. Part 3. The 5-second test. You are in aisle 4. The screaming starts. How do you know which one it is? Here is our 5-second test. Ask yourself this one question. If you handed them the candy bar right now, would the crying stop instantly? Yes? That is a tantrum. It was about the thing. No? If they keep screaming, or if the screaming gets worse even when you try to help, that is a meltdown. It is about the feeling. Look for these other signs of a meltdown. No awareness of safety. They might drop to the floor without catching themselves or run blindly. 2. Rhythmic movements, rocking, hitting themselves, or covering ears. 3. Exhaustion afterwards. A tantrum ends and they might go play. A meltdown often ends with a child falling asleep or needing deep rest. Part 4. Inspirational. Being the safe harbor. Now, I want to speak to your heart for a moment. Whether it is a tantrum or a meltdown, it is hard. It is physically draining and emotionally heavy to watch your child struggle. But knowing the difference changes how you respond. If it's a tantrum, you're the coach. You hold the boundary. So, what does being the coach actually look like? There are 5 key areas to mastering this approach. 1. Acknowledge the emotion. Hold the boundary. Validate the feeling first, then restate the limit. This teaches the child that while their feelings are always valid, their behavior will not change the outcome. For example, I can see you're really frustrated, but the answer is still no. Or, it's okay to be upset, but you still need to put your shoes on. 2. Stay calm and boring. Remember, if the prefrontal cortex is still online, a tantrum can be a performance. If a parent escalates by yelling or threatening, it accidentally teaches the child that big emotions equals big reactions from adults. A coach stays steady by using 3 key actions. 1. Lowering your voice instead of raising it. 2. Using short, simple sentences to avoid overwhelming them. And last, keeping your body language neutral, crouch to eye level if it is safe to do so. 3. Don't negotiate mid-tantrum. Coaching happens by through the tantrum, not by ending it with a deal. Avoid positive reinforcement loops like, okay, fine, just one cookie. Instead, a coach waits it out while holding the line. Or offer limited choices after the peak. Once the intensity dips even slightly, the coach redirects. Offering limited choices gives the child a sense of control, which is often what the tantrum was about in the first place. For example, from a physical perspective, saying something like, you can walk to the car, or I can carry you. You pick. And from a regulatory perspective, you ask, do you want to take 3 deep breaths or count to 10? 5. Debrief when it's over, not during. Emotional regulation is taught in the calm, not the heat of the moment. After the storm passes, the coach connects. From a reflect perspective, you can ask, that was hard, huh? What were you feeling? And from a replace perspective, you can say, next time you're angry, you can stomp your feet or tell me, I'm mad. If it's a meltdown, you're not the coach. You're the anchor. You don't need to teach. You don't need to discipline. You just need to be the calm in their storm. You are the safe harbor until their brain comes back online. You are not a bad parent because your child is overwhelmed. In fact, by recognizing their pain and not punishing them for a neurological reflex, you are breaking cycles. You are building trust. You are telling your child, I am here. I am not scared of your big feelings. And we will get through this aisle together. Next time you are in that grocery store, take a breath. Look at your little one. Check the signs. And trust your gut. You've got this. If you found this information useful and want other parents to know, please hit the subscribe button to help grow the channel. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.